Hello everyone and welcome to a new favourite things video. For today's video I've pulled together some of the things that I love to use during the winter months, and I hope you'll find some inspiration from these favourite things of mine. So to start off, something that I love to do in the winter time, and it's a real December treat in particular, is to collect some vintage magazines of Victoria magazine, which is one of my very favourite American magazines. It's just an amazing lifestyle and sort of recipe magazine, and it's got so much inspiration for your home. I really love the old editions from the 80s and 90s, so I've collected a few Christmas ones over the years, and both my mum and I really love to pull out these old vintage Victoria issues and just spend the weekends up until Christmas, spending some time in the weekend mornings having a browse through the vintage editions of the magazine. That's such a treat for me, and it's just a really simple but lovely pleasure. I find these magazines on places like Etsy or even eBay, so it's good to have a look and just enjoy browsing for a magazine that you like and maybe picking up some of those old issues. And then through browsing one of these vintage magazines, I saw an ad for a Parker pen. And I actually had a Sonnet Parker pen when I was a teenager, and there was an ad in Victoria magazine for one of these pens, and I thought it looked so pretty, but I thought there's no way they'd be making a pen like this anymore. Well, my mum actually ended up looking it up for me, and she found this pen. Here, I'll put it here so you can see it. I love the silver and gold together, and I'm really thrilled with it. It's such a great price point for a really attractive pen. This is their Sonnet style, which is one of the classic Parker styles of pens, and I just think it's so elegant looking, really beautiful, and I think it's a really good price point for such an attractive fountain pen. So I've been really enjoying using this already, and it's something that I know I'm going to be loving to use in the evenings ahead when I do my journaling or write in my commonplace book. I'll definitely be picking up that pen a lot, so I wanted to share that with you. But it shows it can be fun where looking at these old magazines can lead you as well. But thinking of sort of stationery, having shared a favourite pen, of course my mind has gone to diaries and calendars, as well as a few other bits of stationery that I wanted to share with you. But I had a bit of a dilemma this year choosing my diary for 2025. Normally I actually go for the Faber Poetry Diary with the Liberty cover. That's the diary I've bought for the past few years, and I normally really like that one. But this time for 2025, I really dislike the cover. Even though it's a Liberty cover, it's very dark and somber, and it's just not me. So I didn't want to get the Faber diary this year. So instead, I've got one from Choosing Keeping, which I'm sure a lot of you will remember is one of my very favourite stationery shops in London. I bought a lot of their notebooks in the past, and they do diaries. So this is my 2025 diary from Choosing Keeping. So it's a nice one. I've had a diary of theirs in the past, and I do like them. The only problem is that the last time I got a diary from them, I was able to pick it out in the shop, whereas this year I've had to order it online. And when you order online, you can say if you want more of a floral cover, for instance, which is what I requested, but you can't choose a specific cover for the diary. They use different wallpapers, a lot of sort of vintage papers to make their notebooks, and I can't actually individually pick out which one I wanted. which for me is a bit of a drawback. I mean, I'm still happy with what they chose for me, but I really would have liked to have just seen a range of different floral covers and been able to choose the exact one that I wanted. So that's why I don't always go for their diaries, just because of that. If you can go to the shop in London, that's brilliant because you can pick one out for yourself. And obviously you can order them online, it's just you get less choice then and kind of have to go with the flow as to what turns up. I mean, I'm pleased with this cover, so I'm still happy with this diary, but I do generally like to be able to pick out sort of a favourite. So that's the only drawback to this, but I was pleased to get this one this year. It's definitely nicer than that Faber one, so I'm happy with that for myself. And then I also got an Angela Harding calendar. I always get her calendar every year, and I get this ultra sort of skinny shape, which is really good for the spot we have on our kitchen wall. So I've got that, which I'm really pleased about. I have another calendar too, actually, but I've buried it under other things. So I'll show you that in a minute, and I'll show you the rest of the stationery that I have first. So I discovered a new artist I love called Claire O'Neill. Of course, as always, I'll be linking to everything in the video description box, by the way, so remember to check out the links there. And she does some of these really lovely cut out wooden ornaments. I thought this one is especially lovely for winter with the fox and the owl. Just really beautiful, that one. So I got that, but she also has done some other cutout ones that I really love as well. And I got a few cards by her. You can see all her things are very nature inspired. And I just think she's so talented. I love her artwork. And then she's done quite a few fold out cards, which I really like too. I thought this owl one was really wintry and lovely. So I want to put this up as a display, either on my bookcase upstairs or on the mantelpiece. I think that would be really nice. And she's done quite a lot of fold out cards. Here's another one that I really like. So I really recommend having a look at her shop online because she's got lots of really beautiful things. She also sells coasters, and my mum got me some of these as a little surprise, which was so lovely. And I think they're beautiful. I love this little robin. I have this one by my chair downstairs in the living room where I can put my cup of tea. So the robin, there's also a little wren in the snow that I think is lovely, an owl, and then there's a hare and a pheasant. So we went for some more sort of wintry and autumnal choices, but I'd like to get some more summery ones from her next year because I think they're just really lovely, and we always use coasters on our furniture, so we always need some. So I really loved those. Before I share my next favourite thing, I wanted to tell you about my offer code with Serious Readers. I'm so delighted to say that Serious Readers are very kindly sponsoring today's video. As you know, I'm a huge fan of their reading lights. I have their high definition floor light, and it's definitely one of my favourite things, not just for the winter, but for all year round. So I'm so pleased to have an offer code to share with you. My offer code is Miranda, all capital letters, Miranda24. And if you use that offer code, you get £100 off any of the high definition lights by Serious Readers, as well as free shipping within the UK. We're now approaching the shortest day of the year, so the evenings are getting even longer and darker. And as I love to read and journal too in the evenings, this means that having a good reading light is very, very important to me. I notice the dark evenings a lot because the house that I live in is very, very old. It doesn't have any overhead lights in the living room or in my bedroom, and there aren't very many sockets either, so there aren't many places that I can actually plug in a light. And this means that in the evenings, the rooms are very low lit, to say the least. And so for me, having an excellent reading light has made such a big difference to my reading life. Because of my situation, I went for the cordless version of the high definition floor light. And I love having the cordless option because it means I can just pick up the light and carry it to wherever I want to be reading. And I don't have to have the light plugged in near me in order to use it. And that just makes a huge difference to my life because of where I live. But another thing that I really do appreciate about my Sirius light is the amazing light quality. The high definition lights by Sirius readers feature daylight wavelength technology, which essentially replicates the daylight spectrum as closely as technically possible. So when I'm reading with my Sirius light, I feel like I'm reading in a pool of natural light, or at least as close to natural light as you can get. And again, this really helps me avoid overstraining my eyes when I'm reading. I also like that I can adjust the width of the beam of the light, as well as the brightness levels, so I get just the right amount of light that's good for me. If you're also keen to have a great reading light to use this winter, then do take advantage of my offer code. Again, that's Miranda, all capital letters, Miranda24. And this offer code will get you £100 off any of the high definition lights, as well as free shipping within the UK. I'll put all the relevant information, including my offer code and the relevant link, in the video description box, so do have a look just down below where you'll find all the information. But now let's get back to my video. Okay, so back to some more stationery. I got these two really beautiful notebooks from Kensington Papery, which is a really lovely shop if you love very pretty wrapping paper, notebooks, that type of thing. They've got some really beautiful ones. I had initially ordered this one in the evergreen colorway, but they ended up being out of stock on it, so I went for the mauve one instead. But I think it's very, very pretty too. So I really like both of these, and they've got a really beautiful sort of end papers to them as well, which I love. They're blank inside, but they open really nicely. See, they open really flat, which I like a lot for a notebook. So I was thrilled with these, wanted to share those with you. And then some other little ornaments. Like I said, I've discovered Claire O'Neill and I love her little wooden cutouts. But you know that I'm also a big fan of Elizabeth Harbour, and she's done a new type of sort of wooden ornament that I think is so special. It's not very seasonal, it's more spring, this one, than winter, but it's fairly new out by her, and I just had to show you because I think it is stunning. It goes all the way around. It's like a game of hide and seek with this boy hiding behind the hedge, and then the girl is looking for him in the front. You can just see her in amongst the trees. And it's just incredible. It makes me think of The Secret Garden. It also makes me think of The Children of Green Know, with the amazing topiary. So yeah, lots of like literary references in my mind with this ornament. So I just had to get it, and I think that it's stunning. So I wanted to share that with you. And I also did get a few more Christmas ornaments from her. I mean, a lot of them are ornaments you can use any time of year. I think this one is so sweet. So I picked that one up for the Christmas tree. A Christmas pudding. This is a new one by her and I just love it. And then I got a couple of her other really sweet ones that were new to me, so I chose some of her new ones and just love those. Can't wait to get them on the tree. And talking of ornaments, I also had a couple by Amy Swan. She's an artist based in Wales, and she does some really beautiful wooden ornaments and cake toppers as well that I love, and I got these ones from her. Beautiful Christmas tree, and then this lovely robin I think is so sweet. But then, like I said, I did get another calendar too, and I've finally removed the things that were on top of it so I can show it to you, because I think it's absolutely stunning. And it's the Year of Milk and Honey 2025 calendar by Laurie Pemberton. I love her artwork. I follow her on Instagram, and she always does the most beautiful paintings. So this is my first year buying her calendar, so I was really excited to get it. Look at January, it's so beautiful and wintry and amazing. I am definitely going to be saving the pictures. The one thing I found a bit odd is that there's no sort of hole so that you can hang it, but you can, I guess, either make your own hole, but I realised in a way it was a good idea not to put a hole, because I think what I want to do with these is I will cut off the pictures and save them to use them. You could frame them even, because they're all absolutely gorgeous. I didn't show you February, but I just love her style of artwork. I love this one with all the books. So I definitely want to be saving these. So I'm not quite sure. I've not quite worked out how best to display it through the year. But I really do want to save the pictures and maybe frame some, because they're so beautiful. But yes, if you're a fan of her work, then I have to say the calendar is gorgeous. Next year I think I might have to buy two, one to hang and then one to save the pictures from. You can see all of the illustrations on the back. So I'm really thrilled with this. And next what I wanted to share was a couple of bits of china. As you probably know, I'm a really big fan of Bramley Hedge, the Jill Dalton books, but I also, since a child, have adored the Bramley Hedge china. I collected a full tea set when I was little, and now as an adult I've recollected some little bits. I especially love the seasonal ones, so I've collected all of the different seasons, but I've also picked up some pieces that I never had when I was a child. And one of these I just got recently, and it's a gorgeous winter vase featuring a lovely scene from the Bramley Hedge winter book. And I think it's just adorable. I love this scene. It's so cozy and wintry, and to have the vase is really gorgeous. So I was thrilled to find this. And then another little teacup that I love. It isn't Bramley Hedge. I do have the Bramley Hedge winter and Christmas teacups, but I also really like this one that was done by Royal Albert of The Wind in the Willows. And this is the carol singing scene from The Wind in the Willows. So again, a lovely wintry scene with Mole and Ratty listening to the little carol singers. And I think the saucer is really lovely for this too. So this one is just called The Wind in the Willows. And there's a sort of summery scene that I have, but then this is also the wintry Christmas scene, and I really love this, especially as I do love to read the winter chapters from The Wind in the Willows at Christmas time. So it would be so nice to have maybe a cup of peppermint tea or something from this lovely teacup as I read The Wind in the Willows. So that was another vintage find that I wanted to share with you that I'll definitely be enjoying over the winter. And then a few little beauty things, just a couple actually. As you know, I do love a good red lipstick. I've spoken before about how much I love Lisa Eldridge's lipsticks, and I wear her red one called Velvet Ribbon a lot. I really like that one. But what I have on today, and that I've been wearing quite a lot recently, is an Estee Lauder one that I found and I really like. It's called Red Velvet. I seem to really like the ones called Velvet something or other. And you can see the colour. It's just a real red, but I like this one, and it's one I've been pulling out, especially now it's getting colder and darker. It just seems like a very Christmassy red somehow, this one. I think that's a real red for Christmas. I really like that one. So wanted to share that. And then if you'd like a nice sort of nighttime moisturizer that doesn't really blow the budget, I wanted to recommend this one from Marks and Spencer's. It's called Formula Sleep and Replenish Ultimate Sleep Cream. And Mum and I bought this after reading a lot of rave reviews about it from beauty editors saying it was a really good cream and really good for the price. And we've been trying it and really liking it. So yes, if you want a nice night cream, it also smells nice, which I actually like too. It's not too strong a scent, but there is a bit of a scent and it's a pleasant one. So I actually like that a lot. So yes, a night cream is always good for winter, and this is a nice one. So I've been enjoying that. And then of course, in the winter time, I love to light a candle, and I feel like this year my big discovery has been Angela Flanders candles. I love Angela Flanders perfume and her home sprays and things like that, but I hadn't before ever tried her candles, and I think they're fabulous. So I've got a couple for winter that I wanted to share. I've been burning this one, which is her Zanzibar scent. And it's really lovely, really good wintry kind of fragrance and scent from that. So I really like this one. And then I've got this that I haven't opened yet, but you can see how they arrive. I think they do such a lovely job with packaging them. And this is her fig candle. And I burnt one of these in the autumn and just really loved it. It's one of my favorites. And so I wanted to get another one. So that's another candle that I really love for the autumn and winter, is this one. It's just got a lovely scent for this season. I also really love her candle that is called the Dennis Severs scent. It's really lovely, and it is based on the Dennis Severs house in London, which is a wonderful historic house that you can visit, and they use this scent there, and it's just it's lovely. It's a bit citrusy, which is nice for the winter too. So I wanted to share those. And then if you've been wondering about my nail polish at all, this is a new one by Chanel that I've been really loving. I think it's such a pretty purple, this shade, but there's a really cool undertone to it, which I think makes it especially nice as a winter shade. So this is the 191 Charmer, which is a lovely colour. And then I also got the other sort of winter edition special in the colours that they do for nail polish, which is 193 Storyteller. This is a much darker purple, but also really lovely for the winter months. So these two pair really well, actually, to have one on toes and one on nails, but they're also just really nice in and of themselves. So yes, I really like those ones. I also actually just the other night watched an old movie, an old Hitchcock film called Suspicion, which starred Cary Grant and Joan Fontaine, and it actually stood up really well, and I really enjoyed it. And her clothes are just gorgeous in it, so is her jewellery, just amazing. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it too. But why I watched this was because I just recently read Before the Fact by Anthony Berkeley Cox, writing as Francis Isles, and it says adapted for film by Alfred Hitchcock as Suspicion. So this is the novel that Suspicion is based on, and I recently read this and so enjoyed it. It's really suspenseful, and I love curling up with a mystery or a suspense novel this time of year, and if you're in the mood for something like that, then I definitely recommend this. The book is definitely darker than the film. The film has more of that Hollywood gloss on it, but I wanted to just read you the opening of the book because it pulls you in right from the start. It says, "Some women give birth to murderers, some go to bed with them, and some marry them. Lena Aysgarth had lived with her husband for nearly 8 years before she realised that she was married to a murderer." And if you don't want to keep reading, then I don't know what will make you want to keep reading, because I think it's such a good opening and it's just a really, really good suspenseful read. I did feel the ending maybe let it down a bit in the book, but I still really enjoyed it, so I wanted to recommend it. And also the film Suspicion, I thoroughly enjoyed that, so that was just a fun thing to do, to read the book and then see the film. I wanted to chat about a few other books as well, but I wanted to recommend an audiobook first. I really love the audiobook version of The Willows in Winter. I mean, speaking of the Wind in the Willows and how much I love it, I also really like the continuations to the Wind in the Willows that were written by William Hallwood. And I've read the physical books of those. I've talked about them on my channel. But just this winter, I've been listening to the audio version, and it's just really a charming reading of the story. So that's been a lovely cozy listen. And if you fancy a cozy listen, then I definitely recommend having a look at that. But I also wanted to chat about a few other books that I've been enjoying this winter. So one of them is A Winter Dictionary by Paul Anthony Jones, a collection of words for the festive season. This is so much fun. It's just full of words in some way related to winter. He has different chapters called The Changing Seasons, Winter Storms, Ice and Snow, Keeping Cozy, Out in the Elements, The Winter Blues, The Party Season, Preparing for the Holidays, Christmas Day, the New Year, and Snowmelt. And then this is full of definitions of words that somehow relate to those themes. So if I turn to Keeping Cozy, for instance, this is just the perfect book to dip in and out of. And it has things like bronze, to make oneself too warm by sitting too close or too long by a fire, which I think is lovely. And crudel or crowdle, to huddle or sit close together for warmth, which I think there's just so many really fun ones. I love this one. Fire scordle, someone, and in particular a house cat, who sits happily by the fire all day. I think that's just so charming. So this is just a really fun book to just pick up and dip into. And yeah, I love this type of thing. So I've been really enjoying this one. And then a charming picture book is this Shirley Hughes one, Snow in the Garden, a first book of Christmas. And this is utterly adorable for adults as well as children, I have to say. Look at the charming illustrations. And it says that this classic collection of festive stories, poems, and things to make and do is a joyful introduction to the wonder of Christmas. From heartwarming tales of kindness to seasonal illustrations and easy to follow recipes and craft activities, there are so many ways to marvel in the magic of this special time of year. And it's just a lovely little collection of recipes and stories and poems, all with Shirley Hughes's wonderful illustrations that I always love so much. So yes, this is such a charming little book. And then, as winter is definitely the season for sitting around the fire, whether you're a house cat or not, it's definitely the time of year to tell ghost stories as well, preferably by firelight. But I just got this collection of ghost stories by Wilkie Collins. I don't think I've ever read any of his ghost stories before, so I'm really looking forward to getting started with this. I love The Woman in White and The Moonstone. I've read other Wilkie Collins books as well, but I don't think I've ever read his ghost stories. So I think I'll be in for a treat with these, and it's just such an attractive book, this one. So yes, I was really thrilled to get this, and I'm looking forward to reading that. And then another book that I know I'm just going to be really enjoying, sort of opening up and looking at the gorgeous pictures all through the winter, is this book about Tirzah Garwood. It's Tirzah Garwood Beyond Revilius, and this is the catalogue that was published to go with the exhibition devoted to Tirzah Garwood that's on at the Dulwich Picture Gallery, which I really wish that I could go to. I would love to see that. But I can't get to London at the moment, so I'm doing the next best thing, which is looking at the catalogue, and it is just stunning, full of really gorgeous artwork. So I really can't wait to have a proper look at this. It only arrived fairly recently, so I've really got to take some time to look through all of it properly. Terza Garwood was of course married to Eric Ravilius, but she was very much an artist in her own right. So it's really exciting that there's such a good exhibition devoted to her and her art, and I definitely want to try and get to see it at some point before it goes. But if you can't get to it, then I have to say this catalogue is gorgeous and I can't wait to read it properly. So this will be something that I'll be enjoying looking at over the winter. And then just a couple of foodie things I actually wanted to share next. So I've been really enjoying this cookbook, John and Lisa's Kitchen, and lots of great recipes in this one. But there's one that I've made a few times already. I've just made it over and over because it's so good. Let me just find it. So it's this one, sausage and onion gravy rarebit. And this is actually available for free online on the Happy Foodie. So I'll put the link to it in the video description box, because then you could make it too. And honestly, it's just delicious. I have to say, I mean, it's got all my favourite things together really in this one, with cheese and sausage, and yeah, just amazing. So this is a recipe that I've really enjoyed, and it's the perfect sort of comfort food, wintry recipe to enjoy at this time of year. So I really recommend that one. Though like I said, I've been enjoying the whole cookbook. There are lots of good recipes in here. And then for me, a treat that I look forward to every Christmas, or both Mum and I do, is a panettone. And our very favourite kind of panettone is a chestnut panettone. We first started to get this when we lived in West Hampstead, and our local butcher would get it in for Christmas, and we bought it then. Since moving to Yorkshire, we haven't been able to find where we can buy it, but just this year we realised we could order it online. So that's what we've done. So it's still here, beautifully wrapped. We're going to open this to enjoy on Christmas Day and then the days just after Christmas. So saving it for now, but I'm really looking forward to it. And yes, if you love panettone, I so recommend giving the chestnut one a try, because we think it's absolutely delicious. So really looking forward to that. And then the final thing, which is a bit foodie related, is this gorgeous serving board. You can use it as a cheese board or for anything really, and I think it's just stunning. It's by a make called The Humble Hare, and they're all sort of handmade in Britain. They're beautiful sort of marble slabs that are painted, and they feature wildlife scenes. I especially love this bird one. I think it's just gorgeous with the little robin on it too. But I love all of the birds, and they come in sort of different sizes. But I really liked this one because I thought it'd make a great cheese board or charcuterie board, but would also be really useful for like cakes, a loaf cake, that type of thing. Lots of different uses for this. So I'm just thrilled with it and wanted to share this lovely British make with you. But anyway, those are all of my favourite things. I hope you've enjoyed my selection, that you've got a bit of inspiration from this. Thank you so much as always for watching my video, and extra big thanks as always too for those of you who pressed the super thanks button on my last video. I so appreciate your support. But yes, thank you very much to everyone who supports my channel by watching my videos, subscribing to my channel, liking the videos and putting a comment on. And I'll be seeing you not next Thursday, in fact, but next Sunday. So look out for a new video from me then, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.